All right, so in this video, I'm going to go over a daily sales report that was built in Power BI, but using data from Odoo ERP. So what I'll do is I'll go through the actual report itself, I'll highlight all the different functionality, and then I'll go over the data model. That way you get a little bit of a glimpse into how you actually go about building a report like this in Power BI using a real ERP system. Okay, jumping into the report now, I'll quickly just go over the different pieces of data that we're using. So first of all, because this is a sales report, we're using revenue. Now for revenue, that's just all of our customer invoices that have been processed, less all of our credit notes. Then we're also going to be using our budget. So I've just got it set up in an Excel file. I've got a month, then I've also got the budget target for the month, and then also the number of working days in the month. So total number of days less weekends and public holidays. First of all, at the top left, we have our month-to-date sales versus budget. So I'm sure you've already assumed how this works, but I'll quickly go over it. So this is just saying for the current month, we are $1.7 million in revenue. Now, this little line here, essentially saying, okay, well, if we want to hit our budget for the month at this time in the month, we need to be here. So $1.35 million is where we should be tracking for the month so far, which you can see we're about 350K above. So we're tracking well to hit budget. Then this $2.6 million is the total budget for the month. Up here, this is just saying, well, how far above or below budget are we? So obviously we're about 25% above budget. Then exactly the same, this measure, well, this visual here is showing us our year-to-date progress. So it's just picking up January, February, and March. It's combining those three budgets and those 3 months in revenue, and it's just showing us where we are for those months. Once again, we're $7.2 million in revenue. We should be at about 6.2 million if we want to hit around about budget. So we're pretty much $1 million over and we're tracking well. Then this top right visual, I've just added the top 5 product categories. So all this is just saying of all our product categories, which are we selling the most of? Then this table here just has the individual days and whether we're actually below or above budget for those days. If you hover over each day, you can also see that there's a little tooltip that shows up. This is essentially just saying, okay, what product categories are we selling on each of those days? You could also add customers, individual products, pretty much add anything you want to those tooltips. Now that pretty much wraps up this report in terms of design. It's by no means the report that you're going to go in and get all of the nitty-gritty detail, like which customers are buying, what products are you selling, all of that. That will be in a different report. This is more just a dashboard that you go in, you can see how you're performing for the month versus budget, and then also how you're performing for the year. Next up, I'll quickly just run through all the different tables and how they link together in Power BI, just so you can get an idea of what the data model for Odoo looks like and how you might emulate something like this on your own. Okay, so here's the data model itself. You'll see that this is actually very simple. Now, I've used SQL queries to join some of these tables, so if I hadn't done that, there would be quite a few more tables, but I'll kind of run through each table and what's included within them. So first up, our invoice sales, so that's got all of our revenue data. Essentially, this is pulling information from all of our accounting module. So that's in Odoo, it's called account.move.line. That's the actual line details of what products are we selling, what's the cost price per unit, all of that information that's stored in the line detail. And then we've got to join that table with account.move. So that's the header. That's got all of our reference. So what's our invoice number? What's the invoice date? What salesperson's assigned to the invoice? And then we're joining that with our line detail. And that's how we get our invoice sales table. Then we've got our res partner. So now in Odoo, res partner just stores all of our customer and vendor information. So this is just showing us, well, who's buying or who are we invoicing to. Then our product lookup. So this is a combination of product.product and product.template. That's just got everything relating to our products, all of our product categories, our item IDs, everything like that. That's all stored in those two tables. Then just a simple calendar lookup. This is something you use in pretty much every Power BI report. This just gives you the ability to add different fields relating to date, like start of month, abbreviated months, start a quarter, all the different financial years, any of that. That's why you use a calendar lookup, and you essentially just link the calendar lookup to the invoice date field. Finally, we've got that working days and budget spreadsheet that I was talking about earlier. Quickly just go and show you what that looks like. It's just got our month, we've got our working days, and then we've got our budget. Then if I go over to our calendar lookup, you'll see what I mean. Just a big table, which is essentially saying what's all of the information relating to each of these dates. So we've got start of month, end of month, start of year, and then we can use any of these fields in our report. Okay, now that pretty much wraps up the data model. I will be honest, I have oversimplified it a little. It isn't just a case of going in, pulling in all of these tables, and then voila, you have your invoice sales data. You do have to do a lot of filtering to these tables because, say, for example, account.move.line, although that does have all of our customer invoices and our credit notes, it also has a lot of other data that's being pulled from the accounting module. Let's just say like manual journals or all of the COGS entries. Now that's all stored in the same table, which means in order to just get our invoice sales, you have to apply a lot of filtering. Now I'm not going to go over that in this video just because this will be a multiple hour long video. So I might do that in a separate one, but just so you get an idea, there is a lot more that goes into it. But that's just a case of once you buy a connector or you connect to your database, you can go in, you can play around with it. You can check that the data in your Power BI report matches the data in Odoo, and that's how you know you finally got there. Just a shameless promo, my company does build reports like this specifically for companies that use Odoo. So if you don't want the hassle of doing that yourself, we're happy to come in and build this report actually for free. So we build the first report for free. That's just because sometimes it is a bit of a pain getting set up with the data. So yeah, if you don't want the hassle of building it, just reach out on our website or leave a comment below or message me on LinkedIn, and we can build this report for you. But yeah, that pretty much wraps this daily sales report up. If you have any questions or anything you want me to clarify, just leave it in the comments and I will get back to you. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one.